All right, family. All right, family. We got to have a conversation tonight. What's wrong with the Meagan Hall memes, the cop girl memes? I've gotten so many complaints about the cop girl memes. Hasn't been from black people. It's been from mostly white people. I need for someone to come on and explain to me from the white perspective, why in the world do you have a problem with these memes? Because my problem with the whole idea that we shouldn't share Meagan Hall memes is this. What about Will Smith? Will Smith, people shared the entanglement memes everywhere. In fact, Will Smith's picture is a meme template of him crying, of him almost looking like he's about to come to tears. You remember that meme? It's a meme template. So if that was cool to do to Will Smith for all those long times, before you get to complain about Meagan Hall, find any one of your white friends who shared those Will Smith memes and block them. They shared problematic things. They were being racist, right? By the same standard, right? If I being a man sharing Meagan Hall memes makes me sexist, then them sharing Will Smith memes with them not being black over the entanglement, well then that makes them racist, right? Right? Because I don't understand how is it that it is sexist to share memes about a police officer who did what she did on the job in the same state, whereas it is known that they arrest women who are workers of the night. If you know what I mean. How's that fair? Doesn't she work for the same police department that would arrest those women and then put their mugshots out there for the world to see? Oh, so it's only okay if it happens to citizens. It's not okay if it happens to police officers. So it's okay if a police officer puts your mugshot out there and it's out there. Once it's out on the internet and someone can actually find it, it's out there forever. People will know forever what you did or what you've been accused of, right? But it's not okay for us to meme a police officer who was getting paid, and while on duty, while there could have been an actual mercy that these police officers claimed to actually solve, she was off getting busy. But it was okay for you to share memes and share news stories and criticize Ime Udoka, the basketball coach, for having an affair with a married woman who was also a staffer. He got fired, but she didn't. That was okay. You had no issue with that. You had no issue with us criticizing Tiger Woods for infidelity, but not Meagan Hall, the police officer. Tiger Woods was never a cop. Meagan Hall's a cop. She's getting paid in taxpayer funds. When you're getting paid in taxpayer funds, yes, there's an expectation of professionalism there. We don't pay soldiers to not be professionals. We don't pay cops to not be professionals. So yes, when you do something that is unprofessional, it is okay for you to be memed. You are a public servant. We criticize Kyrie Irving for sharing a tweet. Your fake white allies had no issue with Kyrie Irving being crucified for a tweet. And now you're crying about Meagan Hall memes? She's a cop. There's an expectation of professionalism. And if you cannot adhere to that, you get fired and you get made fun of. You're a public servant. That's how that works. Excuse me. It was an afterthought, a non-factor to even get the names of police officers who fatally shoot citizens. That is a recent development. And now you're crying that we caught a police officer on the job doing something that, by the way, that is public. They were doing that in public. Some of those cases. So that's actually a crime. She wasn't even charged with a crime. The same crime that they would have charged you with. If they would have catch you in your car doing that with your girlfriend or whatever, yeah. They would actually arrest you for that. And now you're crying that she's getting memed on? You didn't cry about Ime Udoka. You didn't cry about Tiger Woods. You didn't cry about Will Smith. There were Will Smith memes left and right. As soon as Jada Pinkett mentioned that entanglement, everyone made fun of him. And now you want me to sit here and feel sorry for Meagan Hall. Stop it. I can see right through you. You're only doing this because she's a white woman and she was messing around with black men. That is the only reason why you care. Otherwise, you wouldn't care. Stop it. Just stop it. See, that's the whole thing about Meagan Hall and all these memes, right? People don't understand that really a lot of this was just a test. We know exactly how you were going to respond. You overreacted with Ime Udoka. You may have had a consensual relationship. Yeah, sure, he was married to Nia Long. I get that. But it was consensual. That should have been kept behind closed doors. But no, you didn't do that. Right? So we in the black community and us in the new black media, what we decided to do is we decided to say, okay, just like with Kyrie Irving, if we catch anybody else who's in sports media doing anything else wrong, we're going to show you the hypocrisy. This is why Dana White can't live anything down. Because us in the new black media, we're not letting him do it. We're not letting him do it. You see, when we see people go after Ime Udoka, he gets fired, but the woman he was messing around with, the white woman, she doesn't get fired. I don't know if she's white or Asian, but she wasn't black, and she didn't get fired. He got fired. When we see that happen, and now we see a police officer who gets fired, and people are memeing her, but people memed Ime Udoka, and the only difference between those two is that one's male, one's female, but one's black, and one's white. One's very white. And you're upset about that? You can't mention a power differential with a civilian versus a police officer. Can't do it. Sorry, not going to happen. If you even try, I'm just going to ban you from the chat. No, I don't care how much you think you know me. I don't care how long you've known me. Don't care. Don't care. No. No. You look at Meagan Hall. And these and all these cop memes, right? You get all these fake white allies complaining, oh, the cop memes, they're sexist, they're gonna promote sexist. Oh no, we shouldn't share those memes. Interesting. So sharing the memes of Will Smith, was that promoting racism? Fake white ally? So you mean tell me if I ever went through your timelines on your social media that I wouldn't find any Will Smith memes? That was a black couple, by the way. That their stuff was made public and people made fun of them, and that's one of the reasons why Will Smith flipped out like that. You know that, right? So if it was okay to criticize Jada Pinkett's entanglement or make fun of it or make light of it, if that's okay, then Meagan Hall can take what's coming. Yeah, she can. If that was okay. If that was okay. All right. Because one thing that we are tired of in the new black media is the double standards. You get black folks who are held to the highest standard possible, right? The highest standard possible. Based on nonsense. Right? Based on nonsense. And if you made fun of both Jada Pinkett and Meagan Hall is the police officer in Tennessee who had the group entanglement. Let's just say the group entanglement. She had what Jada Pinkett had, but times 4. Let's just say. She liked all the ice cream. Let's just say she ain't skipped no meals. You know what I mean? She had a very pronounced appetite. Let's just say, you know. My thing, though, so you got people complaining that sharing those memes are sexist and that is not okay for us to share those memes. But my thing is that we share memes of Will Smith. Was that racist? We share memes of Tiger Woods when he had his infidelity, and I was there for that. Was that racist? I mean, we did share memes featuring Jada Pinkett. Was that sexist or racist? We did see sportscasters like Stephen A. Smith and others in the sports media going after Ime Udoka, criticizing Ime Udoka for his infidelity. Now you telling me that the Meagan Hall memes, the cop girl memes, are sexist? Oh. I thought you said it was about a power differential. Meagan Hall is a police officer. Ime Udoka was not. He lost his job. He got fired. And the person that he had the relationship with was a Boston Celtics staffer. And she wasn't fired. It was consensual, but she wasn't fired. And he was fired because of a power differential. So Meagan Hall being a police officer, I don't want to hear anything in defense of her. It ain't sexist. She's a cop. Deal with it. Deal with it. It is absurd. I had to sit here and listen to some of the very same people on my supposed friend list criticize Kyrie Irving over a tweet. But not a police officer? Kyrie Irving lost millions of dollars and he was never a cop. He doesn't have qualified immunity. I don't want to hear your excuses. He didn't have qualified immunity. None of that. Neither did Kanye West. I mean, I don't agree with anything that man said, but he wasn't a cop. And yet he's facing, you got people out there who simultaneously are criticizing people who are not public servants, who don't have access to military gear. Let me repeat that again. Meagan Hall had access to qualified immunity and military gear. And you're defending her, or you're trying to tell people to not share memes because you think they're sexist? Well, the problem with that is there are templates inside of some of these meme apps that you can download from the Play Store and the Apple Play Store that have Will Smith looking like he's almost about to cry as a meme template after he was having the discussion right next to Jada Pinkett about the entanglement. So that's a meme template. I don't care. I don't care. I want people to share all the Meagan Hall and Cop Girl memes that you have on all your social media timelines. You want to know why? Because it's pretty clear what your fake white allies are doing. They're running interference for this white woman because had this been her cheating with a bunch of white men, it wouldn't have stung so bad. But it was multiple brothers. That's what it is. See, it goes back to the beginning of this country. There's been whole towns burned down because of one accusation from a white woman. And now you want me to believe this has nothing to do at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all to do with this. Come on now. You know exactly the reason why your fake white allies don't want you to share Meagan Hall memes, the Cop Girl memes, because it was a white woman messing around with a bunch of brothers. And they have this built-in white supremacist thought pattern, protect the white woman, even if she put herself in a situation. Right? I've seen situations where black men were exonerated from heinous crimes, and they're still being accused of doing the heinous crimes, right? They're still being accused of the heinous crimes or treated as if they committed the crime, even though they're proven guilty. Because of a built-in white supremacy that you have on display here. And someone says, if her husband cool with it, then why are they mad then? The reason why they mad is because she was doing that while on the job. And every police department across the country gets federal dollars. Federal dollars. My money. So when you are on duty, you don't get to do that when you're on duty. Or don't take my money. Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. You want to use military gear to be held to military standards then. No soldier can do that. Nobody in a uniform can do that while on the job. We all know that. Common sense. And you know if you do it, you're going to be put on blast. Everyone knows that. Common sense. Stop treating that white woman like she's somehow different than everybody else. If you did that while on the job and if a cop saw you, they could arrest you. The fact that they have video footage of her doing this stuff, exposing herself in public, excuse me, that's actually a crime. Why is she not behind bars right now? I thought indecent exposure was actually a crime. They have video footage of her in a hot tub pulling off her shirt. And what she has is being exposed right there. Why is she not being arrested? But now you're crying about memes. No, no, no. Don't cry about memes. Cry about the fact that she's not being arrested. How about that? How about that? Yeah, you said every military guy has done it on duty. Yeah, every military guy has done it on duty, but they had the sense to not do it on freaking camera. They at least had the sense to look busy. They at least had the sense to not get caught. If you get caught, that's 100% on you. Because guess what? There's no excuse. There's no defense. You knew the rules. You understood that. So no, you're not going to sit here and make a bunch of excuses. When a white woman makes a freaking mistake, you going to sit here and try to run interference. No. No. Treat her the exact same way you'll be treated if you were caught doing that in public. How will she treat you? You be in handcuffs. Now what's your excuse? How are you going to talk around that one? She's getting memed on. She ain't being arrested. Yeah, everybody does things that are illegal, but if you get caught, that's on you. That's the rules. We don't pay her to do that on the job. And yes, I get it. There's some people who have done it on the job, sure, but you don't know that. You can't prove that beyond a shadow of doubt. Besides the stories that we do know of, or you know of, but that's all we know. What we do know is that she did do it. She did get caught. That's a violation of the rules. It's against the law, and she's facing punishment right now. Personally, she should actually be behind bars based on Tennessee law, right? Based on Tennessee law, she should actually face punishment. She was out there doing that in the public, on camera. How many ladies of the night, how many young ladies out there are working the streets who she arrested? How many young ladies working the streets were arrested by this exact same cop, that exact same department, in that exact same state? How many women out there had their mugshots put out there by the same department? How many? Now you're crying about cop girl memes, about Meagan Hall memes. Think about that for a second. They were okay with Kyrie Irving, his face being plastered everywhere and him being made out to be some kind of monster, for a tweet. He was never a public servant, never a cop, not a sheriff's deputy, not a corrections officer. He was a basketball player. The man lost millions over a tweet. Shoe deals, everything, over a tweet. Meagan Hall, on duty, she took an oath. You don't take an oath as a basketball player. She took an oath. See, an oath is a little bit different than a promise, right? And it's not, an oath is not like, your friend owing you $5 or $10. That's not what an oath is. You took an oath, right? Took an oath, and she violated her oath. And based on her violating her oath, she's facing punishment now, and she's facing public scrutiny. Now, for years now, we've had the entanglement memes. Will Smith being made fun of left and right. Where was all the crying for that? Did anyone stop and say, hey, guys, we should stop with the Will Smith memes? Maybe that's a little bit, excessive, right? Maybe that's a little bit excessive, Maybe that might have an actual effect on a man. And it did. That was part of the reason why, once again, he flipped out. That's part of the reason why. But you didn't stop, did you? You didn't stop. You pushed those Will Smith memes, and now you have a police officer who's getting federal dollars, has military equipment, getting paid overtime, getting paid regular time, getting paid pension, getting paid sick leave, getting paid family and leave time, getting maternity leave if she ever gets pregnant, getting paid for her rounds, equipment, the fuel in the vehicle, also getting a taxpayer funded vehicle, getting all kinds of benefits and goodies. And now you want to cry about her getting memed on when she messed up. Are you serious? Are you being serious right now? Did you not just see how the black community reacted over Kyrie Irving? Did you not think we be watching this to kind of measure your reaction? Do you not think? Do you think I'm the only black person who feels this way? Are there some allies out there who are so oblivious that you think I'm the only black person out there who feels that way? I can guarantee you, most every one of us do. Most every one of us has noticed this double standard by now. I need for white folks to hear me and look me in the camera when I say this. The same stuff, the same double standards that we used to ignore, we don't ignore anymore. We have a black media arm now. I'm a part of it. I'm just one cog in the overall machine. There's an endless amount of us. But I want people to see this situation. No. This situation is very important. I want you to see the reactions. So therefore, the next time we get a Kyrie Irving, next time we get an Ime Udoka, next time we get a Tiger Woods, the next time we get a Will Smith and a Jada Pinkett, we don't react the same way. We gonna act just like white folks act whenever one of their folks gets exposed or something, right? Dana White, people are still defending Dana White after he hit a woman. And they're defending Meagan Hall as a police officer for doing what she did on the job. Despite the fact what she did was, by Tennessee law, illegal. And she was caught on camera, but didn't face any charges like the typical cop faced no charges. People are defending Ari Emanuel, who owns the UFC and is Dana White's boss. People defended Brett Favre. Are you noticing a pattern? Are you noticing a pattern here? So it's cool to criticize Will Smith. It's cool to make Will Smith a meme template in meme apps, in the Play Store, with the entanglement memes, where it looks like he's about where it looks like he's about to cry. It's okay to go after Kyrie Irving and try to destroy the man's career. It's okay to go after Kyrie. Listen, I don't agree with anything with Kanye. I don't agree with anything Kanye says. But at the end of the day, he didn't assault anybody. At the end of the day, he's not a politician. He's not a cop. It's okay to destroy this man's life. But Meagan Hall, who took an oath, who gave her word, who took an oath, who violated the law on camera. You want me to not share memes about her? Because you feel like it's sexist? Okay, so let me get this straight. The San Francisco Police Department just announced that they will no longer be using mugshots and releasing them out there because they feel like it's going to, they promoted racial stereotypes about black and Latino men. So let me get this straight. That was happening for decades. And we had to suffer that. Now, the first time you get a Becky police officer, now you're going to cry to me about memes. If you cry even one time, I'm calling you racist. I am, and I'm going to repeat it. I don't care who you are. At this point, it's just absurd. The stuff people defend while also condemning, it really shows where you stand. You condemn Kyrie Irving. Now, you don't want me to criticize a police officer who was doing that on the job with 5 men? Well, actually 6 men. You criticize Kyrie Irving for a tweet. This woman took an oath. I want y'all to sit down for a second, and throughout the years, I want you to go through all the controversies that people have gotten into. Look at Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan was called all kinds of names because he made a mistake. He said things that he should not have said. Tracy Morgan still, you haven't heard much from him since, have you? They destroyed that man. They keep going after Whoopi Goldberg because of her opinion. Her opinion. She's not a cop. Not a cop. You've had cops say racist stuff and remain on the job. But Whoopi Goldberg, who's not a police officer, can't say what she says on her own, on her mind. I've seen police officers literally call us criminal on camera. It be exposed, and they keep their job. Chicago Police Department right now has a Proud Boy and also an Oath Keeper as a police officer. That was both exposed within the past 2 weeks. That's in the Chicago Tribune right now. Police officers are allowed to be oath keepers and proud boys. But you criticize Kyrie Irving. And you're wondering why the first time we catch any officer doing anything wrong, we're going to just pile on them. You wondering why that is? And no, Kanye is not getting a pass. The point is with Kanye is that he's not a police officer. He's not a police officer. He's not a public servant. Now, if you talk around that, then I got to bang you from the chat. You understood the point. This is why I don't like it when people do this kind of stuff. You understood the point completely. It's a complete double standard. Because it's not just the Meagan Hall and Kanye West comparison that I can make, and you know that. Joe Biden was friends with Strom Thurmond, and I'm from South Carolina, so I wish you would fix your mouth to say anything other than, okay, I agree. I'm from South Carolina. That was my senator. This man told black people he didn't like us. He called MLK a terrorist. Don't you fix your mouth to make an excuse about that. That man was given a pass by Joe Biden and so many others and politicians. Don't you fix your mouth to make an excuse for that. That is ridiculous. There's so many comparisons that you could make to all the black people who have been shown so much disgusting, the way that the double standards that we've been subjected to. It's just gross. Ime Udoka, basketball coach, has a consensual relationship with a married Stafford. He was with Nia Long. This man got fired. She worked for the Boston Celtics as well. She was married as well, but she did not lose her job. Only the black man lost his job. And they talked about a power differential. So I took a mental snapshot of what they said. I said power differential. Okay, so you're saying that anyone who has a power differential, it's okay to drag them through the media like you're doing Ime and Kyrie and Kanye, right? So the first time I see a police officer doing something like this and you're crying about it, I don't want to hear it. Zip it. Because you told me power differential. She has a badge and a gun. And qualified immunity. And whenever she messes up on the job, the taxpayers pay for it, not her. How much more powerful do you want me? Do you want somebody to actually be? That's not power to you? Really? Because the only people who wouldn't call that powerful are the non-black racist fake allies. Those are the only ones. Because black people, we know. That's power. That's power. Okay? So, don't come here and just say silly stuff. Nobody cares about your feelings about Kanye West. If you don't like Kanye West, that's your business. I will stand behind him. And do you want to know why? Not because I agree with him, but because I understand Kanye West has issues. He's a victim of white supremacy just like I am. And if I truly believe the man has issues, I'm going to treat him like he has issues. Because he's rich doesn't mean anything. Howard Hughes was also rich, but he had severe problems. So you mentioning his wealth means nothing. A rich black man is still under a system of white supremacy. Just like Jay-Z said, right? Just like Jay-Z said. I ain't black, I ain't white, I'm just OJ. Okay. Okay. So even with all the influence you say Kanye West has, even with all the riches and everything else, Mansa Musa was also rich. What happened to his empire? Kemet was also rich. Why do you call it Egypt now? Oh. See, this is why I say fake white allies. They don't understand that we live under a system of white supremacy. And it's very easy for them to just totally miss that. It doesn't matter how rich a black person is when you live under a system of white supremacy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you feel. It doesn't matter how you try to deflect. At the end of the day, we live under a system of white supremacy, and that was the point of this stream. I'm exposing the double standards, and that's why you're reacting like that, fake white ally. See, I'm talking to the stream right now, but I know I'm talking to a lot of people. That's why I'm talking like this. A lot of fake white allies watching, and yes, that's not a thing you can say because there's nothing that you can logically reply with. Every double standard is applicable. It wasn't just Meagan Hall I've also exposed. It's other double standards, recent ones. See, Meagan Hall is the reaction the black community is having, right? The reaction that people are having, right, is mostly due to the double standards that people have seen lately. See, we don't care about Kanye West if you're going to allow Proud Boys and also Proud Boys and Oath Keepers to remain Chicago police officers. You gonna let them remain police officers? I don't care about what Kanye says in his free time. Then don't care. And the fact that you're gonna ignore a system of white supremacy, MST, commie, the next thing that you say where you're gonna completely ignore a system of white supremacy, I'm gonna ban you from the chat. Absolutely. Because you don't just get to come into my chat, deflect, and then claim I'm deflecting. And you're not going to interrupt anymore. So that's your final warning. Anyways, back to what I was saying. The problem with systemic white supremacy is that white supremacists, especially the ones who pretend to not be ones, they don't understand that we can see the double standards. And there's a reason why the black community reacts to them the way that we actually do. Right? Because lately what we've been seeing is massive double standards. We've seen massive double standards. Massive ones. So you want Whoopi Goldberg to be punished. Interesting. But not Megyn Kelly. For all things that she said. Or Michelle Malkin. For all things that she said. Or Marjorie Taylor Greene for all things that she continuously say. How about Candace Owens? You got so many other people who could be canceled. Whoopi Goldberg shares her opinion. Black woman has an opinion. You may not like it. It's her opinion. Punished multiple times for it. It's not just Kanye. Okay? Because see, even if you want to go after Kanye, you can't explain Whoopi. How you explain Kyrie? He shared a tweet. Even Joe Rogan said that. It's a tweet. It's a tweet. That's all he did. That's all he did. And the black community, even the people who didn't particularly like Kyrie Irving, we seem to give an almost universal response, right? Right? An almost universal response. We, just like Stephen A. Smith tried to explain on First Take, and I don't even agree with Stephen A. Smith like the vast majority of the time, right? Even Stephen A. said, listen, the reason why the black community is reacting this way is because it looks like butt breaking. That's why we're reacting like this. It harkens back to slavery like you're trying to break him. That's what it looks like to us, because that's what it was. And nothing happened to Amazon because white man owns it. Another example. Nothing happens to Amazon at all. Colin Kaepernick, canceled for taking a knee. And now you're crying about Meagan Hall memes. You have some nerve. You have some nerve. You have some nerve. You're crying about Meagan Hall memes, but Kyrie Irving lost everything. Lost shoe deals. All because of a tweet. The man is not known to be a hateful person. He's not known for that. I mean, even the commissioner, who is Jewish, literally said, I don't think he's anti-Semitic. I don't think so. I don't think so. And yet people are still jumping on Kyrie Irving. To this day, jumping on Kyrie Irving. It is just gross. But now you have the same people crying about Meagan Hall, the police officer who ran around with 5 other officers, well, actually 6, I believe. And they're crying because they're saying that the memes are sexist. You shared all those memes from Will Smith. You shared all those memes from Whitney Houston. People thought, oh, she's finally sober. Seriously, those memes. You remember those memes? You share memes of Rihanna's face after her domestic incident with Chris Brown, and Chris Brown was absolutely wrong for that. I'm going to say that again, even though it happened a long time ago. I'm still going to say he's wrong for that. Right? He's wrong for that. But people share pictures in memes of her face. And you didn't call that insensitive. You didn't call it insensitive when you share memes of Will Smith looking like he's almost about to cry over the entanglement. You didn't call that inappropriate. So why are you crying over some white girl now? Huh? What's the real reason why? Tell me. Tell me why. I know why. Because Meagan Hall said Black Lives Matter multiple times. That's why. See, it's not just the fact that Meagan Hall did what she did. It's the fact that she did what she did with multiple brothers. See, that's a problem. That's a bad look for the white supremacists. That's a bad look for the white supremacists. It's a bad look for your fake white allies who secretly don't like black people and would secretly want you to keep you away from their women. Or they want to keep the idea that white women seek out black men. They want to keep that under wraps. They want to mess with black men behind closed doors. They don't necessarily want that to be public though. And let's keep it a buck, man. I was against the abortion ban, but let's keep it a buck. The only reason why most white women had an issue with it is because they can't have hot girl summer. That's one of the biggest reasons why. Not because they particularly care about the rights of anybody else. Listen, I work in police corruption. The one thing I found about people is that a lot of them don't care about your rights. A lot of them don't care about your rights. People have a very NIMBY type of mentality. And there's a saying about, you will back the blue until it happens to you. That's the whole premise behind that statement. Like, people don't really care about things until it happens to them. And that's where my channel is different. That I try to get people to care even though it didn't happen to you. But back to the main point. People have this thing, whereas they don't seem to realize the symbology, the symbolism, right, behind their defense or their objection to something, right? They don't realize it, right? They don't realize the symbolism is it, right? And they don't realize the symbolism in them complaining about someone sharing memes about a police officer who engaged in infidelity with multiple men while on the job, who actually, by the evidence, did something in public in a hot tub. Exposure, which is a crime, and it was caught on camera, and she wasn't criminally charged. Had it been a black man, he would have been criminally charged, absolutely. But you're not focusing on that though. You're crying because of the memes. I'm gonna tell you something, fake white ally. A lot of you have exposed yourselves. The Kyrie Irving situation exposed you. Dana White exposed you. The LA City Council situation exposed you. How you deflected with George Santos exposed you. And now Meagan Hall has exposed you. 2023 is going to be a year in which I separate myself from fake white allies. Because if you care so much about sexism, right, then where were you when all the Whitney Houston memes were being shared? That woman is gone. She's one of the greatest singers to ever exist. Yes, she has some shortcomings, but is it right for people to share memes something she's finally sober? Was that cool? Did you fight as hard whenever you saw those memes? And don't you pretend like you didn't see those memes. I wish you would pretend. I wish you would pretend. Right? Where was all this smoke, all this vitriol when people were sitting there making fun of Jada Pinkett's hair? Her lack of hair. After Will Smith had that situation, people started posting memes about Jada Pinkett, making fun of her, putting her next to pictures of like ET and like that kind of stuff, picking on her alopecia, and that was cool because she had infidelity. That was cool. She wasn't a cop. She wasn't a lawyer. She wasn't a public servant. She's only an actor, or well, an actress. But that's it, and that was cool. Okay, so if that's cool, then when it happens to a police officer, I don't want to hear you crying about it. Especially if it's a white one. I don't want to hear you crying about it, because if you thought it was okay to denigrate a black woman, then don't you cry when a white woman gets denigrated. There are whole meme templates featuring Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, so I don't want to hear no crying whatsoever. Zip it. Zip it. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. There's been so many black people out here held to ridiculous standards. Listen. You've had black men. Do you realize that disproportionately, the one group of people who are exonerated from SA crimes, crimes of that variety, are black men? We're exonerated, but we have our mugshots put out there. If you go to the Innocence Project, in fact, I want to show you guys. I don't want to leave this. I don't want to let nobody troll her. If you go to the Innocence Project, in fact, I want to show you guys. I don't want to leave this. I don't want to let nobody troll her. If you go to the Innocence Project, in fact, I want to show you guys. I don't want to leave this. I don't want to let nobody troll her. I want you to see this. I want you to see this. I want you to understand what you're dealing with. You see this. I want you to understand what you're dealing with. They're Meagan Hall memes, right? Because she's a white woman. Because that's exactly what it is. But these police officers and these prosecutors can sit there and put people's mugshots out there and ruin people's lives. Black men, black people in general are overrepresented in every category of wrongful convictions. I mean, it's every category. And we even spent longer time behind bars for it. So let me get this straight. You want to sit there and cry about, Meagan Hall getting memed on because she did something while she was on the job. But all these black men here had their lives ruined. And some of them still can't find jobs. Some of them are still treated like pariahs, even though they're proven innocent. Because bad news travels a whole lot faster than good news. Do you understand why the black community doesn't respect your defense of Meagan Hall? Right? Do you understand that? Do you understand why we don't care about your defense of Meagan Hall? Why we don't care about the claims of sexism? Right? We don't care. Because people share memes about Trayvon Martin. They shared memes about George Floyd. They shared memes about Ahmaud Arbery. In fact, some of the memes they shared about Ahmaud Arbery was lies about Ahmaud Arbery, saying that he was wearing boots, saying that he was there to rob a place. They said all those lies and misinformation. All those lies. Did you see your fake white allies fighting those lies? As hard as they're fighting these Meagan Hall memes? You see that? They're only going at these Meagan Hall memes, these cop girl memes, the memes of the police officer who, decide to engage in some advanced team building exercises because she's white. She's white. And she messed around with black cops. And they can't stand that. Even your fake white allies. Right? They said all those lies about Beyonce. You had people on TikTok sharing videos, lies. You had people like Tim Pool on YouTube sharing lies. talking about Ahmaud Arbery was wearing boots and like, well, I've heard a report. Did you confirm that report? Because based on the court documents, that was based on a lie. You see your fake white you see your fake white allies even mention that? Even talk about that? Dr. Claude Anderson was absolutely right. We have no allies, man. I just I try to be the nice foundational black American. I wanted to be the nice FBA. It ain't possible, man. It ain't possible. Because if I'm going to call you an ally, I need you to not be oblivious. And the vast majority of people who call themselves allies are 100% oblivious. And there's no point you teaching them because they're never going to learn. Even the best examples of them. I don't think people realize how deeply entrenched anti-blackness is, man. It's a mode of operation for this country, and people will try to concede that. The so-called allies will try to concede that, but they don't truly understand it. I don't think so. And so I say share all the Meagan Hall memes and tell your fake white allies, deal with it. Just like Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, Tiger Woods, just like Whitney Houston, just like Rihanna, just like so many other black people who did nothing wrong. Deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it.